Yeah.
Pour it out of me, which surprised me.
Dawn's here. That's awesome. Maybe have any of you guys gotten on like in a flow, I guess? Like, do you keep writing cards after we're done? Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and get started in here. Share my screen. I couldn't log into my own meeting earlier. That was fun. Okay, day 4. Just send the damn card. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna prepare you guys a little bit. Whoops. It's gonna get a little weird today in a really good way. I promise you. But we're gonna do something totally different. And you'll see what I mean. Okay, so right off the bat though, for our rapid fire love fest, we're gonna bring it back to doing it first thing. I'm calling this My Fugly Valentine. I want you guys to, whoops, God, I don't know why I keep tapping. Again, encourage you to find a card that you've had that you can't stand, like one of the really old school frilly cards that you just can't think of a reason to use otherwise. If you don't have those cards anymore, I know a couple of you guys used them yesterday, which was great. Just grab another card that might have a Valentine-y feel or something that you could turn into one. And you're going to channel your inner poet. And if you just heard that and you're like, I don't have a poetic bone in my body, then feel free to copy mine. But this, we're just going to try something a little bit fun, just a 4-line classic Valentine's Day poem. What do you guys think?
I love it. I love writing stupid, cheesy rhyming poems all the time.
It's so fun. I have to say,
it's so much taking a birthday card and making it something else, or taking a something else card and crossing it out and making it funny.
Totally. I have a lot of fun doing that too. Or just making, any card, just tweaking it a little bit to make it really feel like your own. Mm-hmm. So you guys go ahead and type a 1 in the chat when you're done. I have to tell you guys, this is actually inspired, this idea for a 4-line Valentine. My sister-in-law, Kelly, who's on here, she'll tell you, my dad, every single year for Valentine's Day, he writes a 4-line poem for all the girls in my family. Aww. And it's amazing for any family, right? For any dad to do that. We have, I think I told you guys, I'm the youngest of 8 kids. There's 4 girls and 4 boys, which means 4 daughters, 4 daughters-in-law, lots of grandbabies. He's got siblings, he does it of course, for my mom, and he hand delivers his poems every Valentine's Day with the carnation. All of us get a carnation. My mom gets a rose. Aww. And it is just, a lot of them are really funny too. Usually about something that happened recently or throughout the year. And they just make my day. So I'm hoping that you guys can channel your inner poet or someone like my dad.
Hey,
and if not,
Sarah, can I share?
Yeah.
Which Sarah?
Huh?
Sarah, can I share your dad's best poem ever to your mom?
Yes, please.
So right after my mother-in-law got her, had her hysterectomy, he sent her the greatest 4-line poem ever. It said, "My dearest Ellie, you've always been true to us. After 8 kids, who needs a uterus?"
Yeah. Oh, good.
My favorite.
Oh, so good. I feel like I have mine up here. Yeah, I do, from last year.
I feel like I just got a glimpse into your brain, Sarah.
You probably very well.
If you have 8 kids, you have to have a sense of humor, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Looking up rhymes with you.
I wouldn't be here if they didn't. As the last one, there's no way. Okay.
Rhymes with uterus.
I have a couple. I have mine from last year still up on my workspace, and so I think you guys know I launched my card company a little over a year ago, And my dad, who is a very traditional man, religious, keeps the faith, he was very surprised to see that some of my designs had the F word in them. And so his poem to me last year, I printed it out because he emails mine. I'm the only one out of state. It says, a naive girl named Sarah Weger made greeting cards but got too eager. Began using words not so nice, very short but quite concise. Now a fuckity freaking overachiever.
I love it. You said that.
This was the one that he wrote to my daughter last year after they came up to visit right before Valentine's Day, and he taught her how to give a killer hug, is what he calls him. It's just this big bear hug. He says, give me a killer hug. And she loved it. And the poem to her says, Hudson, we've grown so much closer and you're cute as a bug. You just called me Pop Pop with your first killer hug. I love you, Grandpa. So anyway. And you feel free to swap out any of my starter poem to make it your own, depending on the card that you're using.
I have such an old random card that I've had forever. And I bring it out all the time thinking, God, I got to send this thing. And I'm like, no. So
Today the day
to my husband for Valentine's Day now this year is this dog with an apple and a book on its head. So it looks very schoolish, but it says, anything I can do to help,
I
just
have
holler
that.
and I'll be there. And it doesn't have an envelope that matches it. So it's going to be in a
Beautiful.
giant envelope.
Beautiful.
Oh, I have to show you my 23rd wedding anniversary coming up. To show you this card I
23rd.
Yes. Yes.
While you're finding that, this is the card that I, again, inspired by my dad, that I came out with this year. My 4-line Valentine, it says, roses are red, violets are blue. Rhyming is hard. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, I love that. I love that haiku one. That refrigerator. Haikus are hard. Refrigerator.
Yeah. Refrigerator. This one I've actually used it a handful of times because it's very flexible. You can send that to a girlfriend. You can send it as a little love note to your husband around the house.
I'm gonna switch.
Read it to us. You're so small as it comes.
Marriage, the art of not killing your forever roommate.
That's great.
Lost, like a letterpress.
That's awesome. I love that it's fancy, letterpress,
Yeah.
just to soften it a bit.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to share what they wrote?
Oh, I just wrote the little poem that you have up on the screen.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've got to maybe I'll put it in the recap email, but I've kept all the poems for my dad. I've got probably 20 of them that I keep in my wallet.
Aw.
And it's so sweet because you kind of forget certain things that happen. Okay.
I write a silly rhyming poem every year for my husband for Father's Day and take a picture of my girls every year since my oldest was born and match it with the poem in this book. And so
Are you
I get to
serious?
look back at it every year for Father's Day. It's really great.
I would love to see a picture of that or something. I mean, that is a commitment. That's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like, oh shit, tomorrow's Father's Day. Everybody hurry up and get together. I'm up late at night trying to think of shit that rhymes.
Yep. If you guys are still, a couple of you guys still working on this, I frequently use the website Rhyme Zone as just rhymes with, punch in the name, rhymes with you. It's just one of those silly little things that'll help you kind of finish a thought. And you can start with roses are red, violets are blue, and then think of a random compliment about that person and then grab the last word. I guess in this case, it would be rhymes with blue, right? You can say whatever the heck you want on that third line, especially if you have a card that's not brutal or an old ass card or embarrassing or any of those things.
So I did a poem for my husband that says, "You're such a dork. You think you're so funny. Happy Valentine's Day to my punny honey."
Aw. That's so sweet. Perfect mix of funny and sweet. Okay. You guys keep writing if you want to keep going. And Faye and a couple of you guys that are joining us new. I said on day one, this challenge, you could do it one of two ways. It can be either, you log in, you get the prompt and you mute me for the rest of the time and you write your own cards. Cause I think maybe that's what some people expected. They just wanted to go through their stash and that's great. Or just keep me on, not on mute and just keep talking and we'll share ideas of what to write. We'll help each other out. So Rapid Fire Love Fest, that's it. We're going to get into the main prompt for today. And usually I put on some fun background music to kind of get you guys in the mentality. And even before we start writing, today I'm going to share another personal story, I guess, with you guys to get you in the mind frame for what we're going to do. So are most of you guys ready to go? I can see your faces. Okay. So continuing the theme a little bit of Valentine's Day, I thought it would be fun to talk about some self-love today. And we are actually going to write cards. I want to see your facial expressions. We're going to write a card to ourselves today. Yay, Misty. Thanks for the double thumbs up. I'm like relieved because I was picturing you guys going like, what the hell, what? Okay. But we're going to do that. We're going to write a card to ourselves today. And I'll tell you a little bit of a backstory on why, and hopefully it will also encourage, just get your guys's, some ideas flowing here. So 2 years ago, I'm just going to dive right into it. 2 years ago, my daughter was almost a year and a half old. I was a full-time stay-at-home mom with her. I also, side note, think that's got to be like the hardest age because they can't really talk yet. They're very active, very mobile. It's like you just need them to sit down and eat, sit still, but yet like don't eat that thing, don't put that in your mouth. Like it's just 100% hands-on, exhausting. And I also thought it would be a good idea at the time to get back into coaching volleyball as a kind of a mental release for me and an outlet. And Nicole and I were talking, we played in college and I've always loved coaching. And so I picked up coaching a 15-year-old club team, and these girls were very tough. It was not exactly the outlet that I thought it would be. It was a particularly tough group, like lots of issues. It was just, I was pouring everything I could into it. Needless to say, probably it was, I was exhausted and I wasn't taking care of myself. And about halfway through that season, I came up with a brilliant idea, which I highly recommend to any one of you, which was to book myself an Airbnb for a night. I booked an Airbnb. It was about an hour away from our house. Like it was on a lake. That was really important to me, to be around water. And I was so excited about it, just to have like time to think to myself. And so I got there and I had all these grand plans of what I was going to get done, what I was going to accomplish, what I was going to catch up on, all the podcasts I was going to listen to, just all these things, right? And I got there and it took me, honest to God, like 2 hours just to remember how to do nothing. And I like didn't know what to do with myself. And so I brought myself a canned thing of wine, which, by the way, did you guys know that those cans of wine are half of a bottle? Because I did not, which was very dangerous. And
I learned the hard way.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, this is so fun. Like, so that happened. I also put on Beyonce. I was like, I need to just like have a dance party by myself and like let loose and just see what happens. So it started, I was having fun. And then I was listening to this podcast. I went down the self-help rabbit hole, like of YouTube videos and podcasts. And I ended up listening to one with this girl that was talking about like, she called it mirror work. And she was talking about, it was like this very hippie-ish thing. Like ever since I've found mirror work. It's just changed my life. And I basically every day I go in front of the mirror and I talk to myself as if I'm my best friend. And I'm like sipping my wine and thinking like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, this is so, what is she talking about? Right. But I was curious. And, about an hour after that, I thought, what the hell, I'm going to try this. And so I did it. I sat in front of the mirror and it was like a very, very like mind-blowing, just an epiphany. Like I actually connected with myself as if I was looking from the outside in at myself. And I'm going to read a longer caption, like an Instagram caption that I wrote, just kind of talking about this whole experience. And I'm hoping that you guys just kind of like let this soak in for our prompt for today. Okay. Does anyone have anything to add or comment on? I feel like I just come on here and talk so much, but okay. All right. So this I wrote, by the way, after the second time I booked myself an Airbnb, and I promised myself I'd do the same thing again because it was so rewarding for me. So after the second time I said, this is the second time I booked an Airbnb for myself for a night, about an hour-ish away, nothing fancy. First time I did it, I kind of talked about everything I just explained to you. And to preface it, the first time I said, at the time I was going through a rough patch. I was constantly tired as a stay-at-home mom of a 1-year-old, coaching a group of 15-year-olds that I thought would be my mental/creative release, but the season was especially tough. And I just wasn't taking good care of myself in the midst of it all. I felt like I wasn't doing a good job anywhere in my life. And physically, I felt it. When I looked in the mirror, I had a major breakthrough. For the first time, I saw myself as someone I was once very close to and was once good friends with. And I honestly felt bad for her. I felt like I had dropped the ball as her friend. I suddenly felt the need to apologize to her, and I did. I told her I was so sorry and that I was going to do better. I was going to be better about checking in with her and asking how she was really doing, just like I would with my other friends, and I would listen to her response. I told her I'd bring her meals when she was hungry, again, like I would for any other friend, instead of watching her graze and not take good enough care of herself. I'd tell her she was doing way more than enough as a mom, as a wife, as a coach, as a friend. I'd tell her if she was an employee of mine at a company, I'd recognize all the time and effort she's been putting in, and I'd tell her to take some time off, not try to do more. It was a pretty big breakthrough for me, and I felt so much better after saying all that. It's like it was long overdue. Fast forward a year, and I promised I would do it again this trip, as awkward as it might be. So I did, without the canned wine. I'm happy to say it was a totally different conversation this time. This is back in January, by the way, just to give you some context. I ended up introducing myself as a friend I'm proud of and is doing great things, as someone who has worked through a ton of stuff the last couple of years and is on the cusp of something really big. I said I had a strong feeling that this is the year it all happens for her. I don't know what you're supposed to do with all this, but I think if there's any takeaway, it's that I highly recommend a check-in with yourself as a friend. Be honest as you do this and just see what happens. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Feel free to pull from what I told myself, but I'm also going to I kind of put a slide together for those of you that might want to Mad Lib it. Do you guys remember that? Mad Libs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you already if you just heard that and you think I can do this, I know what I would say to myself. Great. Shut down, don't even look at this next slide. But if you need any guidance at all, here you have it. Okay. We're going to spend probably 7 minutes on this. I found a really cool song and another little short song. So it's going to be 2 songs today. And I'm just going to get started. Let me put this on. Yeah, there we go. Let's do. So you guys can see when this is, it's like 7 minutes. Yeah, about 8 minutes. Okay. All righty. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to say, if you guys want to, if you don't want to look at my Mad Libs prompt here, if you feel like you don't absolutely need it, I would recommend pinning your video to the screen and looking at yourself while we do this. It's going to feel awkward probably, but try
What
to,
video of ourselves?
huh?
What video of ourselves?
So can you go to like speaker view?
Oh, like just myself on
Yeah.
here, myself.
It helped me a lot when I did this to actually see myself. And if you guys want to do this afterwards, like look in a mirror, you can go and do that right now if it will help you kind of connect with what you're writing. Or you can pin your video, I think.
I don't know how to do that. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
If you
matter.
if you click on yourself, then it
Yeah.
gives you some options, and one of them is pin video.
Oh, thank you, Hillary.
You're welcome.
Yep. Give yourself a good look, you guys, and just get past the awkwardness, and then you'll get in a flow, I promise. can't see the damn controls to pause this. There we go. Put a 1 in the chat if you're done and a 2 if you need more time. Another minute or so. I'm gonna put on one more song to give you guys a couple more minutes, and then and if you're done, do another 4-liner. Let's see. Give me a 2 if you need more time. Okay, here's asking someone if they want to be really brave and share. And that's okay. Stacy, yes. There we go.
Why not? I've had
Love
this
it.
card forever. I had a few. I got rid of one of them the other day. This one says, "You always know." And it says, "Dear me, it's been a year of transformation and relaxation. I admire that you've exploited every minute and made it matter when there was so much pain and suffering going on in 2020. You've changed, girl, and I love it. Boundaries, pleasure, and self-care are now priorities on your list. Go, girl. Remember to get into nature, surround yourself with people who bring joy and high vibes into your life. You can manifest whatever you want in this life. So many lost their chance this year. It's okay to dream big and live your life on your terms. Just keep moving forward at your own pace, enjoying the views, smelling the flowers, and connecting with beautiful souls. You got this. Love, Stacy.
That was gorgeous. Yes.
Note to myself. I'm gonna hang it on my wall with all my made to do this stickers.
Aw, that was awesome. Are any of you, thank you for sharing that. I want a copy. That was beautiful. Are any of you considering the idea of mailing it to yourself just to bring it full circle? Faye?
Wow, that is incredible. I never would have thought of doing that.
I'm addressing it now.
Did that affect you guys?
You could hide it for a couple of years, hide a whole bunch of them, and then mail it a year later.
You know, I feel like that is the perfect segue into Faye. Faye, it is okay. If you guys came on after I introduced her just very casually and quickly, Faye she's become quickly like a close friend of mine. We have yet to meet in person, which will absolutely happen, but she's also in the Seattle area. And she was on a recording of a workshop that I did about, what was even the workshop about? I don't remember. Wholesaling. That's right. And she had talked about just launching her greeting card company, right when COVID hit. So Faye she's just one of the most genuine souls. She's so sweet. She's so freaking smart. We've been catching up, just checking in with each other and about business and life and that kind of thing. And she does handmade greeting cards, you guys. You have to check them out. I'll definitely put a link to her stuff in the recap email and in the Facebook group. But Faye, I'm so happy she's here because she just recently launched a product that yeah, you can tell them about it, Faye. I'll stop. Go for it.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. I'm really glad that Sarah watched that recording and then sent me a message via Instagram, a cold call, because it's been great. It feels like I have a colleague and a friend and, someone to bounce ideas off of and also just talk about whatever random stuff is happening in our lives. So, so yes, I just want to shout you out for that. So as Sarah mentioned, I started my company in January of 2020. And then 9 weeks later, Seattle went under stay-at-home order and everything turned crazy. And much like Sarah's experience with never talking about the mirroring and never having sat down and really given yourself a good hard look and maybe had a conversation with yourself or really taken time to reflect. I was chatting with another friend a few weeks ago, a month ago, I guess, and we were talking about how to build in that time or just to build in a way to look back, and came up with the note to self, which it's a standard size card and it's completely blank on the inside. And what happens is when someone orders the note to self, they get the card and also a larger envelope that is addressed to me. So they fill out their card to themselves, exactly like we did today, put it in the envelope that goes to me. Queen Faisal is the name of my company.
Great.
So it goes to Queen Faisal, and then I hold on to it for 3 months. I certainly don't open it. And then when the time comes, you will have addressed it to yourself, and I mail it back to you 3 months later. So it's a snapshot in time. It's a way, some people do 90-day plans or 90-day goals, things like that. So you can write goals and check up on your goals with yourself. You can just write a love note to yourself. You could send yourself a gift card in your notes. Really, it's whatever you want to put in there, but it's meant to be a mini time capsule so that you take a few minutes and think back to self of 3 months ago and how you were feeling and what you were going through and what you wanted to write about and where you are now. And it's no more complicated than that, really.
And how cool is it that you guys would have an actual human handling it? Someone as sweet as Faye. I just think it's so cool. And I hadn't thought of the gift card part of it because I think like half of us on this call right now came out of like the Made to Do This program. And that would have been awesome. Like I'm going to plug that in the new cohort because that is such a great idea. I didn't really celebrate finishing that program, and I wish I did because that was a big deal that we all went through that. It was a major commitment. And so a note to self, I mean, I love this card for so many reasons, but you have to use it for that purpose. Otherwise it's super weird to send that to someone like, what? So I just love it so much. Faye, thanks for coming on here and talking about that. Yeah. And so here's the cool thing too. That is going to be part of the giveaway for doing the homework. One of you guys will get, the winner will get that, one of the note to self cards delivered to you. And sticking to the theme of self-love, I have a print that I would send the winner to that I don't offer prints on my website. So this is like kind of a rare, cool thing, but it was actually one of the first things I designed when we moved into our house a year ago because I could not find anything like fun that wasn't tchotchke, live, laugh, love. So I designed this for our bathroom. It says, "You look good." And I love it. I see it every morning in the bathroom. And on the days where I look especially haggard, it makes me laugh. It's like a joke. But when I'm feeling like okay about myself, it makes me feel better. So this is the combined giveaway for today. I think you guys did a really neat thing. And I hope that we can all carve out time to do this exact exercise again. So does anyone else feel like, how was that for you? Was it hard? Was it fun? Good. Okay. Have you guys ever done anything like that?
I was just going to say,
amazing.
I had to actually put my camera off because I was crying as I was trying, because I feel like I have in the last year kind of come home to myself. And so it was like very emotional for me to like write this to myself. So, and I love that idea that you came up with, Faye. That is such a cool idea.
Yeah.
I love your plants. All the plants.
Yes.
A friend was moving and gave them to me. And so I totally got lucky.
Score. That's botanical heaven over there. Okay. Oh, and I am not going to forget today, like I did yesterday. And by the way, yesterday, I just have to put this out there. I said, I'm going to get off of my sandbox now. I totally meant soapbox. I don't know why I said sandbox. And I'm a little concerned that no one corrected me.
I figured I knew what you meant, but it was so horrible. I think that's a card, Sarah.
I'm going to get off of my sandbox. What is wrong with me? Okay.
Oh, and I have a question in the chat.
Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Am I sharing my screen still? No. Let's fix this.
I just asked about markers and paper.
I'll message you after because we could easily go down a rabbit hole and I don't want to take other people's time up with that.
Yeah. Let's start a thread in the Facebook group
yes.
about that because
great call.
Yeah, I could talk about that stuff all day, and I want to hear what other people use and
Yeah.
like. Well,
We've got a lot of creative people in this group too. Okay, so the winner of the brand new empathy pack of cards that we talked about yesterday is Hillary. Congrats, Hillary.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
You're welcome. Great job on doing your homework.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. I have to say thank you for just doing this challenge so far all week. I feel like we've spent a lot of time together, but we haven't. And I think it's because it's just been really meaningful time that we've had together. And it just like warms my heart to see your guys' homework and all the cards that are going out, and now seeing some of the responses that you guys are getting. It is so freaking cool. And I just feel so honored to be a part of all this. So thank you for investing your time. And again, thank you on behalf of all the people that are getting these cards from you guys, because that is it's such a gift, like especially now, it's just such a gift to have that physical check-in from someone. It means so much. I mean, we all know how much it means to get a card in the mail versus, I know like a text can be very heartfelt, a phone call can be very heartfelt, but a card is a special thing, you guys, and you are doing really, really awesome. You're making really important cards this week. You have, so way to go. Especially to yourself. That was a big one. Oh, okay. That's all I've got for you guys today. I cannot, oh my God, I did this yesterday. It's 3:50 here. I just feel like I gabbed for like an hour and I didn't even know it. So you guys are the best. Cut me off anytime. Otherwise I will see you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the last day.
Thank you so much.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Sarah.
Send the damn
Bye,
cards.
everybody.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks,
Sarah.
Faye.